Hello, everyone. I am so excited that you are here tonight to learn more about our Mercedes car program. So, as you are jumping on, as always, comment live if you're watching live, comment replay if you're watching the replay, and I would love for you to comment right off the bat hashtag driven to succeed. Driven to succeed. Now, some of you have come on here tonight already as Mercedes Car Plan Achievers, and you've qualified for the program, and you're receiving the money regularly, doing the maintenance, and you're really just here to support, right? Then there are some of you that are joining this because you are achievers of the program, but in order to see that money and hit that maintenance each time, you're not always receiving that regularly. And you're here tonight to refresh your memory as to what you need to do to actually see that 500 or that 700 on your paycheck each and every month. Then there are some of you that are leaders that have not yet qualified for the Mercedes car program and want to learn more about the program and how you can do that. So, welcome to you because you are the next batch of new Mercedes car plan achievers. And finally, some of you just might be new stylists watching, or maybe you've been here a while and you're like, hey, I would like to learn more about this program so that I know what's possible. And you guys have probably heard me say that so many times, that it's my job to teach you all and to show you all what's possible. So let's start out again. As you're jumping on, hello, as you're jumping on, comment live if you're watching live, comment replay if you're watching the replay, and comment driven to succeed if this program is something that you're excited about learning more. All right, let's start out with some fun. Okay, so I hope that got you a little bit excited about learning more about this program. I know that for myself, I I am a Mercedes car plan achiever, and when I get in that car, I to this day, it's been years, several years that I've had the car, and I just can't believe that this is the car that I drive now. I did not grow up with luxury cars. I grew up with like regular cars. And to be driving this car all around town for years now has really been something that is just amazing to me. So, if that sounds like something you want to learn more about, let's take a look. So what we're going to talk about today, again, is our Mercedes car program. And in most companies, whatever the car program is something that only upper level executives are eligible for. And here at Park Lane, you become eligible to work towards that Mercedes at first level leadership. That means that if you're a branch director, that you're eligible to start working towards the Mercedes. That to me is just an unbelievable perk. So go ahead and comment, branches. If you're a branch, go ahead and give yourself a shout out. That means that you can start earning it. What I find to be most common is that area leaders, because the requirements for area leaders get you a lot of the way towards the Mercedes qualification, a lot of very often new areas can qualify for the Mercedes the very next month. And I would love for you to just think about right now what it would be like to drive a Mercedes that you don't have to pay for. So let's start with that. Just close your eyes for a second and imagine going into that Mercedes dealership and picking out which white Mercedes you want. Do you want a sedan? Do you want the small SUV? Do you want the regular small SUV? Do you want the larger SUV? There are many beautiful options of Mercedes in those dealerships, and you get to pick the one you want. Picture test driving it. Picture just getting into it in your own driveway and that new car smell. What color interior would you get? Would you get a black interior, a brown interior, a beige interior? What interior would you get? What type of Mercedes do you want? Where are you driving this car? Who's in the passenger seat? Who's in the back seat? These are all the things that you can have with our Mercedes car program. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Mercedes car program brochure. All right, we're going to share the screen again. And let's take a look at the Park Lane Mercedes car program. By the way, where I am right now is just in the field interface in the download section. Okay, so the Mercedes car program. I always love this. Arrive in style in your new white Mercedes Benz. So, Park Lane's Mercedes car program members can earn $500 or $700 each month. So here's what we mean by that. You can provide Park Lane with the lease documents for your white Mercedes car, and your monthly Mercedes car plan bonus will be $700. So what that means is if you go lease a Mercedes and send that paperwork over to Park Lane every month moving forward, that you hit your maintenance qualifications for your Mercedes, $700 will be on your next month's paycheck. Now, if for any reason you'd rather not get the Mercedes, because maybe you already have a car payment and you want to use this money to pay for that car. Maybe you don't drive and you don't need it and you'd rather use that money to pay for something else entirely. Doesn't matter what your reasons are. If you choose not to get the Mercedes, then your cash bonus is going to be $500 every month that you meet those qualifications, and you can spend it any way you want. Because again, the money goes on your check either way. So your Mercedes, maybe your payment is an even $700. Maybe the payment on your Mercedes is $570, is $625. You still get $700 and you can use the extra overage however you see fit. Okay, so to qualify to become a Mercedes Car Program member, you attain a 2-month sales and recruiting volume goal in 2 consecutive months. So, branches and areas in 2 consecutive months, you need to do 16,000 and 4 recruits. Now, here's the good news. The 16,000 is net and non. The 4 recruits is total team recruits, just like the 16,000 is total team sales. So these numbers, the 16,000 and the 4 recruits, to qualify in 2 Park Lane back-to-back months, you then become a Mercedes Car Program Achiever, and then moving forward month to month, you're just going to do the maintenance, which we're going to take a look at in a second. Divisions, it's a 2-month back-to-back. It's 20,000 net and non, personal and team sales, and 6 recruits over those 2 months. So, like I shared earlier, many times, people who promote to area, like we just recently saw with Tony and Rosalba, they both had a great portion of their, about half, over half of their sales and about half of the recruits that they needed the month that they promoted to area. So the very next month, they just needed to do the rest. And then they qualified for the program. I believe Joy Widgeon, for example, did it when she was promoting to division. So division is a 2-month promotion. And so the 2 months that she needed to do the 20,000 to promote to division and that recruiting were the same 2 months. So that was an example of someone who did it while promoting to division. Now, once you do the 2-month promotion, you are in the Mercedes Car Program for as long as you're an active stylist. So you never lose it. Now, to get the actual $500 or $700 a month, now you just move on to what I always call the maintenance. So once you've done that 2-month qualification, we send in the email over to Park Lane letting them know that you have done your qualification. Then moving forward, every single month that you do these maintenance numbers, then you will get the money. So if you're a branch or an area, every singular month that you and your team have 8,000 and 2 recruits, you're going to get that $500 or $700 Mercedes bonus. As a division, every month where your team does 10,000 and 3 recruits, you get the 500 or the 700. Now, mind you, divisions, when divisions have 10,000 in team sales, they also get a $500 regular sales bonus. So there's a lot of double dipping that goes on here at Park Lane because the same 10,000 that you do for your monthly bonus as a division can double up as the 10,000 that you need for your Mercedes, as long as you also have this recruiting component. So this is one of those things that, yes, maybe in the beginning, sometimes you're getting it and sometimes you're not. You don't have to go back here and requalify. Once you do those 2 months, that sticks, and you're only needing to do this moving forward. Okay, so that's it. Now, for those of you that are senior divisions, you don't have to do the qualification the first time that you do the 16,000 and the 4 recruits. In a month, you automatically get the 5 or the 700, and you automatically qualify. So, and then every month that you do the 16,000 and the 4 recruits, you see that money. So senior divisions and above do not have to do that 2-month qualification. You go straight to maintenance. Okay, so to when we say the 4 recruits, we of course mean, or the 2 recruits, this is new recruits. So every month moving forward that your team has 8,000 and 2 new qualified recruits. Divisions, 10,000 and 3 new qualified recruits. This is to reward you for continuing to build your team. So let's go over some of these little details. The recruits must be fully qualified in their first 5 weeks. So if you qualified for the program, let's say in September, October, then in November, you need to have your maintenance numbers, 8,000 and 2 recruits. You get all 5 weeks to qualify them, which is why the November recruits might take into December to qualify. So that's when you would see the money once they get qualified. Personal and team recruits count toward the monthly recruiting goal. So this isn't something you have to do alone, which is why you will find as you continue to build that these types of numbers are much easier to hit when you are teaching your team how to recruit, right? Because a division, you don't have to do all 3 recruits yourself. You can recruit 1, and then maybe you have an area on your team who would recruit 1, and maybe you have a new stylist on your team that recruits 1 to promote to branch. Now it's you did 1, an area did 1, and a new stylist did 1. The key really to really seeing this bonus come in smooth every single month is developing branches, because as they are recruiting, it counts towards your Mercedes. It's helping them get a raise and a promotion. And then the next month, those new stylists want to be the ones promoting, which helps you develop areas. So that's why all these programs have so much overlap, because we want you to be able to make many different achievements, like a promotion and a Mercedes and a trip, a Mercedes and a promotion to a new level. That's all the things when you're paying attention to sales volume and recruiting. Okay, let's look at a couple of these other details. Sales include personal and team, net and non, generated within the commission dates of a calendar month. So those same guidelines that you use for your Rich Rewards in terms of the calendar dates are the same type of dates for your Mercedes. Okay, the lease for the Mercedes has to be in your name. If you purchase the white Mercedes instead of lease it, it has to be less than 2 years old. They like you to be rolling up to your parties and tooling around town in a beautiful, newer model car. Um, so Park Lane just, you send them over the documentation for the Mercedes, and that's what counts. Like always, the 50% rule applies. So if you need 3 recruits, it can't be that you have an area under you, let's say, that recruits and qualifies all 3, because that would be more than 50% of what you need. So you would need to be doing 1, and then that area, let's say, is doing 1, and then a branch somewhere else, let's say, that's doing 1, or you're doing 2, and that area you have is doing 1. And that's just, of course, to make sure that you don't just, that, a leader doesn't have just one good person working under them and get the benefit of driving around in a Mercedes or collecting bonuses when they're not doing any portion of the job. Okay, so you only have to apply for the bonus the first time. That's when we do that qualification. Then after that, Park Lane automatically slaps that bonus on your paycheck every single time you qualify. All right, once you are a Mercedes car program achiever, you want to stay active, because if you go inactive, you're going to have to re-qualify. And we always hate for that to happen. We can do the contest claim form or send an email once you have qualified. And just so that you know, you can lease a Mercedes, and when you reach the end of the lease, you can pay off the car if you so choose. You still get the money. You still get the $700 because you leased or purchased it. That's what we did. And I know this because Mary Grace told me to. She too got the Mercedes. She paid it off and still receives the $700 a month every time she meets her qualifications. So this is just an amazing, amazing program. And it's one that really gives you such wonderful flexibility. So again, let's visualize. What is it that, if you're going to choose the money, what is it that you're going to use the money for? It's $500 a month. Are you going to use that to make some sort of payments? Is it a credit card that you can finally pay down? I know I did that in the beginning. Also, in the beginning, we actually still had a car payment on the car we had recently purchased. So in the very beginning, when I started earning this, I used that $500 to make that car payment. Then we were using it to pay down the credit card, and we used that as an extra payment to pay down the credit card. So what would that $500 do for your family, do for you personally? Is it, you're going to get you have like a new living room set that you want to purchase or pay off? Do you have tuition? Do you have, there's a lot of different monthly bills that come in. What would $500 a month do? So I would love to see here in the comments, hashtag 500. If you will be doing the $500 as the bonus when you achieve the Mercedes, or if you already do. If you are already a Mercedes achiever using the 500, hashtag 500. And if you don't mind, share with us what you use it for. I would love for you to help inspire the others that are going to watch this. If you're going to get the Mercedes, again, I want you to visualize walking into a dealership and knowing that you're going to be able to afford a Mercedes because Park Lane is paying for it. I know that I myself, since coming to Park Lane, have been in many places that I was almost nervous to be in. Like, I was nervous to go into a Mercedes dealer because, like, who am I to be in a Mercedes dealership, right? I did not, grow up as a passenger in a car like that. Or, um, I've been in the Louis Vuitton store with Mary Grace, and I always feel nervous when I go in there. But just know that you're going to belong in that dealership because Park Lane's going to pay for that car for you. Smell the interior. In fact, a big step that's important to do when you are going to be working towards this is to go to a Mercedes dealer. So here's what I want all of you to do. I want you to all go to a Mercedes dealer and take a photo with a Mercedes. Now, if you're not ready to go into the dealer, maybe one day you're in a store parking lot and you see a Mercedes. Without photographing someone's license plate, take a picture. I want you to take a picture of you with a Mercedes. Now, what I would really love for you to do, if you are a branch or above, I want you to start talking about on your social media how you are eligible for the Park Lane Mercedes program. I'm so excited that with my promotion, I am now eligible for a Park Lane Mercedes. You are in qualification. You can say that too. I'm in qualification for my Park Lane Mercedes. I'm so excited to be working towards this incredible incentive. And post that picture with the Mercedes. Check in. Post this as you check into a Mercedes dealership. Ask for referrals for Mercedes salesperson and get everyone on your Facebook recommending Mercedes dealers to you. Ask for models that people like best. Get the Mercedes conversation going because people are going to be like, wow, Jen is qualified for Jen drives a Mercedes. Jen can have a Park Lane with Tony with that little jewelry business she's doing on the side. Is driving a Mercedes, can get a Mercedes. Yes, you can. So let's watch this one more time, because what I want you to remember is that this can be you. I want you to be in this video. Are we putting your face there? I would love to have your face there. Are you driven to succeed? Please comment driven to succeed, because the next step after that is to talk with your leader so that we will know if it's time to make you a tracker. So once I know that somebody wants to earn the Mercedes, then what we do next is we make a tracker. So the tracker's not on this. Oh, I grabbed the wrong. Oh no, here it is. So we'll know that what the sales are. We're going to write at the top what recruits you need, what 2 months we're going to be using to track it, right? So here was Tony's tracker for when she was qualifying. 16,000 net non-personal team sales, 4 active recruits. After month 1, she had 2 of the recruits and she had 10,210 in sales. So that meant that the second month she needed 2 recruits. We needed to fill in here, and she only had to do 5,710 in sales. That's how you track a Mercedes. We did the same thing with Rosalba, and I've done it with countless others before them. So that's the tracker that we're going to do for your level and get you qualified for a Mercedes. So I'm super excited to work with, and I know all the leader team is so excited to work with each of you to get qualified. And those of you that are already qualified and not seeing the payment regularly enough, that's the tracker that we need to make for you each and every month. Because what do we say all the time? Trackers are winners. And I want you with that $500 or $700. Let's not leave it on the table at Park Lane. Let's put it on the table in your dining room. Let's put it on the table in your kitchen. $500 or $700. We're not leaving it in Chicago. We're bringing it to your house and putting it in your pocket. All right, I'm going to look for all these comments and let's make those trackers, because I know that so many of you are driven to succeed. And I want to see each of you either with that money or driving a Mercedes. All right, keep commenting. Driven to succeed. Bye, everyone.